Hi, my name is Devin Peterson, and today we want to address the question how to protect my investments using a software called wealthguard. Now, wealthguard is a simple monitoring technology that overlays on top of all of your assets and investments and adds some simplification on how you monitor those. So today I want to share with you an example or story of a client that sat in my office a few months ago that illustrates the importance of monitoring and rebalancing. So we'll call this client John. So John had a 401k and a 457 plan from his company, and back in 2008 he lost 25% of the value in his accounts seemingly overnight. Devastating for him. Luckily he was still 7 or 8 years before retirement, but John made the decision at that time to put 100% of his assets, his retirement assets, in those two accounts, the 401k and the 457 plan, into a stable value fund option inside of his employer. So over the last 10 years, from 2008 to 2018, the whole time, all of his retirement assets were in that stable value fund, earning minimal return, having a lot less risk. Now, in 2008, looking back in time, John now realizes that choosing to protect his assets by putting all of them in a stable value fund, he'd actually lost out on $100,000 to $125,000 worth of potential growth that he would have had if he was a little bit smarter, still wanted to protect his assets, but utilize some technology and some principles to be able to protect those. So in an effort to not have that be the case for a lot of you moving forward, I want to share with you the fundamentals of what the technology of wealthguard is and how you can use that to properly monitor your assets to reduce some of your losses over time. But before I get into that, I want to share with you a study called the Dalbar study that over the last 23 years has tracked the human behavior as it pertains to investments. And in the Dalbar study, it actually says that on average, 50% of the returns that the market actually gives is what actually goes to an individual investor. For example, if the market earns 12% in any given year, the actual investors might only get 6% of that. Now you might ask why that is. Is it management fees? Is it portfolio fees? What it actually is just investor behavior. As the market goes up, investors become more confident and they buy high, and as the market goes down, they lose confidence and they sell low. And that cycle is what causes that disparity. Not really having a plan, not having a formula, and just going off of emotion. And so what wealthguard does is creates a little bit of an understanding of what your risk tolerance is, and as there are small fluctuations, you can keep to your plan. In any particular portfolio that you might have, in your 401k or your IRA, it typically includes 4 different elements in your portfolio, which is stocks, bonds, commodities, and real estate. So those are the 4 elements that make up a portfolio or investment portfolio. Now, most investors, when they're in the market, they have a maximum amount of risk that they want to take. So what wealthguard does when you initially set it up, it creates a wealthguard number, which is the maximum percentage that you're willing to stomach or lose within your account. And so let me show you an example of how wealthguard works. So if you're following along here, you can see that this particular portfolio has a wealthguard number of 15, which means that's the maximum amount of risk or losses inside of your account that you're willing to take. And then that same portfolio might have 40% bonds and 60% stocks. So you're about a moderate risk tolerance. I'll show you another example. This one has a wealthguard number or percentage of 7.5%, which is a maximum of 7.5% loss within your account. So naturally it's more conservative, as you can see, and so you might have 80% bonds and only 20% stocks. Now wealthguard is a monitoring system that monitors all of your accounts, regardless if they're self-managed accounts where you actually pick and choose the stocks and you manage them themselves, or if they're in an advisor-managed funds, either in your 401k or in an IRA, or if you have an advisor outside of your company that manages your retirement assets. So it includes all of those type of investments. Now, this next image will kind of show you what this is. So we'll walk through this example briefly. So this is a portfolio that currently has $535,000, but a wealthguard number of $454,000. You can see that 15% maximum loss over on the right-hand side. So going on to the next one, this kind of shows you as your account has grown a little bit and starts to lose value, your wealthguard value stays the same because the wealthguard value tracks your highest points of your portfolio. So as your market portfolio value starts to lose value, you can see that it goes into a warning system that will warn you and your advisor of the decline within your portfolio. And as the market continues to fall, there's going to be a time where it crosses over your wealthguard number. Now, at that point, it will notify you and your advisor, and that's the point of time where you can make an adjustment within your account because it hits your maximum loss of your account. Now, when done properly, you can adjust your account to be a little bit more conservative, go out of bonds or go out of stocks and into bonds. As you can see, there comes a point that your portfolio value might hit your wealthguard number. At that point in time, it will send a notification to you and to your advisor to encourage you to take action. Now, in a properly managed portfolio, what that might look like is you going from primarily in stocks and rebalancing that over into primarily in bonds, which will better rebalance your account to reduce a lot of your losses. As you can see in this final slide, that when you do that, you can stop the losses within your account and then pick up some of the gains that might come from the bond market. One of the best parts about wealthguard is wealthguard can be implemented into anyone's portfolio. And so if you're interested in trying out wealthguard and attaching or overlaying on top of your assets, please contact us below. We encourage you to subscribe below to follow us so you can keep you up to date on a lot of these other videos. But reach out to us if you want some access to wealthguard to lay over your assets today. And we encourage you again, don't be like my client John that stepped in my office and realized how much losses he's had over the last 10 years because his assets weren't monitored and rebalanced properly. So thank you for joining us, and join us soon.